Sweet, back at it with another 150 reads. Just still going through them, still pumping out books, still reading. First thing I read through recently was Milorad Pavic's Landscape Painted with Tea. I'd read the previous one, Dictionary of the Khazars, previously. It was awesome. That one was written from 3 different perspectives about this lost civilization and you kind of like, some of them have like the same entries, some of them have like completely different ones, so you're kind of like piecing together the story of the civilization through false encyclopedic or differing encyclopedic entries. So this is why I had to read the other Pavic that I could track down. So for some reason, there's only the couple that are available. And so this was the other one. This one was about a architect who kind of is trying to trace the lineage of his family history. So he kind of has like all these resources available to him and kind of runs through like a sort of fantastic Calvino-like Yugoslavian folklore and history, kind of tying into Eastern European legends, ties into World War II a little bit, kind of the history of family sagas and trying to unearth them. Similarly to how Dictionary of the Khazars was kind of written with a sort of disjointed meta, read in any order kind of idea. This one was kind of written similarly. It was actually written with, apparently in a sort of a crossword style. And then so each chapter you can read in a different order depending on how you do the crossword. I didn't really this crossword is not a similar way to, North American crosswords are done. Maybe Yugoslavian crosswords are different. I don't know. So this one, I just read front to back, but apparently you can read it in the order that you do the crossword. And then figuring out the crossword itself gives you like a little something more. The solution is actually in the back, so it's not like I needed to figure it out. Dictionary of the Khazars there are 2 different versions. There's a male and female version. And I mean, the one I have is like the male version, but then I read there's like one passage that's different. I didn't really think that there was even like a significant difference in the 2 versions at all. In this case, I didn't really think that the crossword meta-ness of it really changed anything. But whatever. I mean, just in the similar to kind of like creating a fantastical otherness of like what I compare it to Calvino. It's that he's like, or Borges or something, like these like magical sort of like our own but very different civilizations and kind of the history out of them. This one kind of was similar, like monasteries and like rich old family histories and things like that made it come alive. It was lovely. So with this one, with the Dictionary of the Khazars, there's not a lot of other ones in English. I actually did manage to get a copy of Unique Item, that this one is sort of like a choose your own adventure style. Like it has unique endings and kind of like instructing you to only read the ending you choose, don't go back. So a really innovative writer that I don't think is super known in the West, not super known in the English speaking world. You'll come across Dictionary of the Khazars in the wild. I suggest you find it. Landscape Painted with Tea did have this vintage version but I haven't seen it like in print in a long while. This one I'm sure came from the UK or something like that. Not really a beautiful edition. Well, this one actually was published in Belgrade, so but in English. So I've, not easy to find, but as a lover of kind of like fantastical but real, but Calvino kind of Borgesian fantasy realms, these are well worth tracking down. The Pavic, if you can find it, they were lovely. Recommended. And then related to kind of what we're talking about of the fantastical realms, this giant copy of the Dictionary of Imaginary Places. I will say I kind of cheated on this one. I did not read this front to back. I mean, it is like effectively like a coffee table encyclopedia of fantastical places, of imaginary places. So definitely in that, that thing that I keep hunting for. I did not read this front to back, but it kind of going through it, it definitely gave me a better understanding of like the history of the things I love so much. I am sort of aware of like the history of these things. I mean, like even just like what I just opened to, Laputa, Jonathan Swift and Gulliver's Travels, and Baron Munchausen and things like that. Like those are, or even like Rabelais and Jonathan Swift and stuff. There's like this world of precursors to so much of the cool things that we've had through the 20th century that did have their anticipatory precursors, and in those anticipatory precursors are outlined quite a lot in this Imaginary Places. It was edited by Alberto Manguel, who, if you're looking for like a wonderful editor of short stories and like very cool stuff, especially for Latin American, Central American literature. I mean, I even mentioned Borges. He kind of did a very charming little short personal biography of Borges that of like through his experience. Excuse me. I will have to go through it a little more closely. I'm sure it's just going to add up my reading. Like maybe I need to actually get to Strange Manuscript Found in a Copper Cylinder, or finally read Baron Munchausen, or those kind of things. So it's just a joy to have. Go through the history of it. So maybe I'll just have to actually like switch out one of the books from the 150 to take that one out because I didn't technically read it. I don't know. I'll make that decision. And then I read one more. We read Alfred Jarry's The Exploits and Opinions of Dr. Faustrol Pataphysician. I did actually select this from the randomizer proof. Here you go.
Exploits and Opinions of Dr. Faustrol, Alfred Jarry.
You're in here. And so I read this one in the meantime because the big tome of the Dictionary of Imaginary Places kind of, I don't know, didn't count. So I had to read one in the meantime. Kind of speaking of that, it's like bringing up Jonathan Swift and Rabelais and that kind of thing. I think that's kind of where this comes from. I know a little bit about Jarry before, because I actually have a copy of Ubu Roy here. And this is kind of the one that is like most notorious, most famous for, causing theatrical scandals and is truly super weird. I can't say I really got it. Basically, it is a sort of eccentric doctor that is like the doctor of pataphysics, which is like the science of the things that could be, the science of the science of the outliers, of the clinamen, the science of the things that don't adhere to the expected. It sounds lovely and like philosophically, and even just like the concept. In practice, I don't think I quite got it. What this influenced, like going towards, especially something like Roussel's Solus Locus, that is kind of, to me, like where jumping off from Jarry and then going towards that. So like as a the history of the kind of avant-gardes and the weirdos. I'm happy to have like put this in my mind, in my like knowledge base. Night of Serious Drinking by Dalmal, absolutely both of those were influenced by this, for sure. Definitely a huge influence on the surrealists and like though that era of avant-gardes in Europe. But this one in particular, as like a standalone for itself, those who read Grander might have more to say about this, but it just didn't give me the full thing. But I'm very happy to have had a little bit more in my stock of the books. So now that I've done those ones, I've got a couple more that I'm going to select right now.
Logograph, Thomas Warden. Infernal Desire Machine of Dr. Hoffman, Angela Carter.
You are up here. Cool. Couple more. I guess we're keeping with the doctor theme. I haven't actually read any Angela Carter. This is going to be my first foray into her work. Very reputable. This one sounds very cool, but I just bought it with the intention. That's why it's here. And then I have this copy of Thomas Wharton's Logograph. Just these beautiful editions from Gasparo that are embossed, letterpressed, and it comes in like this beautiful slipcase. This one supposedly is about like the joy of reading and discovering books. So I've had this one filed away for a very long time, and just that's what this 150 list is for, to finally get to those things. So join me for the next month on reading these guys if you have copies. All right, thank you for watching. Read more books. I'm going to get through these as quickly as I can. I'm going to try to keep the videos coming a little more frequent through the fall and winter. Hopefully I'll see you around. Bye.